There are people who think in terms of, resist the devil, he'll flee from you, and that's significant. We'll look at that later. But who think in terms of, okay, well, we're always going to be surrounded by temptation. Temptation's everywhere. I just need to learn to resist it. Well, his first counsel here is not resist it. It's stay away from it. It's flee from it. Keep to a path far from her. Don't even get close. Don't go near the door of her house. Not simply don't go to the door. Not simply don't go through the door. It's don't even get near it. So the question that's very common among single people, young people, how far can I go? That very question is a revealing question. And many of us have done it, whether in that arena or other arenas. It's how close can I get to sin without actually doing it? A question we get asked is, how's that working for you? Because that strategy doesn't work well. If you tell a child, don't play in the road, then you'll also find yourself telling them, don't go near the road. Because you could have a technically obedient child who's not running out on the highway, but who's just on the edge of the highway and just sort of putting one little foot and dangling it over. So technically, they haven't gone out on the highway, but they're in serious danger. We found this with our grandkids. When they were over at our house, and we raised 2 daughters, and they were grown, and now our daughters were bringing over our grandkids. And while they were still in walkers and all, that was a different thing. But then they're big enough to get out in the yard, and we're playing with balls, and we're throwing things and all that. And then as is the nature of young boys and sometimes young girls too, I think it tends to sometimes be more true of young boys, they just chase that ball. And if that ball goes in the road, they're going on the road. So we were going, no! And then I'm standing between them and the road. And then finally I look at Nancy, I go, we raised 2 kids here and we never needed a fence. We're going to need a fence to save the lives of these grandsons. So we put up this, chain link type fence, and there it is. And every once in a while, even to this day, with the boys that live near us, being one about to turn 13 and one who's 11, there's times where I throw them the ball, and it's maybe a long throw. They catch the football and they hit the fence. Now you could look at it and you could say, gee, that fence, that really hurt when I hit that fence. Life would be better without fences, wouldn't it? Or think of the guardrails that you see, up on a mountain path. It's late at night and it's foggy, and you're driving, and there's a cliff, down there, but suddenly the car hits a guardrail. And you get out of the car and you go, and you look and you go, my fender's been dented. What do? Do you curse the guardrail? No. Are you glad the guardrail was there? Yes. Why? Because what's the alternative? Plunging off a cliff, which is not a recommended behavior. So the guardrail saved your life. So this is where I think for young and old, we need to learn the reality that God's law, God's commandments are God's guardrails for us, which are intended to protect and preserve us, because He wants us to live life and enjoy life and not self-destruct.